Okay. I call meeting to order. First, I would like to welcome our newest member, Mr. Christopher Strofa.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Okay, we will start with doing the invocation by Member Mann, and then the pledge by Member Lewis.
Vandor, possibly? I don't see Member Mann.
Member Mann is
Sorry.
not in attendance.
I'm sorry, I do apologize. Member Dander. Okay.
Let's all rise. Let's bow our heads for a moment of silence, please. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Okay, no, after the consent. Now we'll have the reading of the consent.
Roll call?
Okay, I'm sorry. We'll now have roll call. I'm sorry.
Member Odom?
Present.
Member Lewis?
Present.
Member Mirza?
Here.
Member Bandor?
Present.
Member Mann? Absent. Member Stewart?
Present.
And Member Shropa?
Present.
Quorum is met.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll have the reading
Swearing
of
in?
swearing in of the officers.
If you're planning to speak tonight, please stand and raise your right hand.
Okay.
All right. Do you and each of you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to present shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may be
Okay,
seated.
thank you. Okay. Now we'll have the reading of the consent agenda.
Good evening, Madam Chair and board members. I'm Doug Gaines, Assistant Director of Support Services. We have several here for dismissal or incompliance, and it's 2020-01868, 2020-01933, 2020-01975, and one just came in, 2020-01488. We have two for continuance. It's 2020-01514 and 2020-01615. That one also just came in.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we move case number 2020.
No. We first have to approve the consent.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented by the city.
Yes, that's
Well,
first. First.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion to approve the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. Okay.
Now, all right. I'd like to, oh Jesus, now I forgot what I was saying. All right. I'd like to go ahead and have case number 2020-01953 be heard first, if that's possible.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Seconded.
Okay. All those in favor of having case number, which one is it? Okay. Case number 2020-01953 heard first, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay. Motion carries. You ready?
Bob Seegers, Code Enforcement Officer, City of Ocoee. Reference City of Ocoee case number 2020-01953. The location of the violation is 2961 FOXTAIL. It's Ocoee, Florida. On August 13th, I observed grass and weed growth over 10 inches, and I'll submit exhibits A and B. On August 17th, a notice of code violation was issued and mailed to the property owner as identified by Orange County tax records as William Snarsky. The notice was for violation of code number 115-3B and allowed the property owner until September 1st to correct the violation and comply with the code. Code 1153 states, declaration of nuisance and menace. B is excessive weed or grass growth. No person shall allow or permit excessive growth of weeds or grass on property owned, rented, leased, or controlled by such person. On September 2nd, I re-inspected the property and observed non-compliance. On September 3rd, a statement of violations, notice of hearing, and proof of service were sent, certified and regular mail to the property owner by the board clerk. On September 4th, the property was posted, and a second posting was placed inside the lobby at City Hall with 24-hour public access. On today's date, September 22nd, the property was re-inspected and observed to be in non-compliance. The front yard had been mowed, but the back is still overgrown. The city is requesting a compliance time or a date of October 2, followed by a fine of $25 per day thereafter if found non-compliant.
Okay, you say this has, we have the property,
The respondent?
we have the respondent here.
Okay.
Would you like?
Yes, thank you. I did receive the initial notice in August, and I did mow the lawn shortly thereafter. Over the pandemic, I got a setback and was unable to keep it up through the time that it was re-inspected. I've since made it come back and have mowed the front. The back I was hoping to be a wildflower garden. Unfortunately, with the setback, the weeds have taken over, and I do plan on tackling that this weekend.
Can you state your name for the record?
William Snarsky.
Thank you.
Do you plan to be in compliance by October the 2nd?
I do expect to.
Are there any other questions for the officer or the respondent? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chairman,
Ye-
I'd like to make a motion.
Yes.
Okay, I move that in case number,
Second to
oh,
last.
it is, there it is. 2020-01953, that the respondent be in violation, found in violation to the code as cited, and given until October 2nd to come into compliance or be fined $25 per day.
And they were found in violation as cited as of September 1st, 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
They have until October 2nd, 2020?
Can we get a
Did you
second?
say 2020 for October 2nd?
No.
2020.
Oh,
October 2nd, 2020.
okay.
Just me.
Okay. We have a case before the board, a motion before the board in case number 2020-01953, made by member Dander and
Band.
Bander and seconded by Member Mirza, that the respondent be given until October 2nd, 2020, to come into compliance or be fined 25 days per day.
$25?
$25 per day. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
You're free to go if you don't want to hang around.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't know where I got down to. Okay, we'll now resume our normal order. Okay. The next case to come before the board is case number 2020-01488, to be presented by,
That got dismissed already.
mhm,
Or continue, that was on the dismissal or continuance list.
Which one?
1488.
yes. Oh, they were
Correct.
taken out? Okay.
The next one should be 2020-01820.
1488 was in compliance.
Okay, okay.
That one should be
The next case to come before the board is case number 2020-01820, to be presented by Officer Loeffler.
Good evening.
Okay, hello.
Case number 2020-1820 is at 134 Mobile Lane. The complaint was for a dangerous dead stricken tree endangering surrounding properties and structures. On July 23rd, I did observe what the complainant described, and on the same day, a violation notice was issued, posted at the location, and sent out certified delivery to the property owner of 134 Mobile Lane, which is Jose A. Martinez, as identified by county records, and that was for violation of 115-3A3. The property owner was given until August 23 to remove the tree. Was re-inspected on August 24th and observed non-compliant. On September 11th, a notice of hearing was sent out, certified mail posted at the location and posted at the City Hall lobby for this hearing date. And as of today, the property remains non-compliant. The city's requesting a compliance timeframe of October 7th and or a fine amount of $15 per day for every day not in compliance with October 7th.
Okay. Has there been any contact with the owner?
No, ma'am, only the complainants.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that in case number 2020-01820, the respondent be found in violation for code as cited as of August 23rd, 2020, and be given until October 7th, 2020 to come into compliance or be found $15 per day per violation until found in compliance.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion presented by Member Stewart and second by Member Bander. In case number 2020-01820, that the respondent be found in violation and be given until October 7th, 2020, to come into compliance or be fined $15 per day until he is in compliance. Is there any discussion? Okay. If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay. The next, make sure, the next case to come before the board is case number 2020-01879, presented by Officer Loeffler.
Case number 2020-01879 is 511 Nicole Boulevard. The complaint received was for a zoning violation. The business activity at the location was changing the residential tranquility of the neighborhood with off-site debris dumped at the house as their normal garbage. Visible trailers and equipment on the easement in the front yard and in the side yard. And debris related to a landscaping business stored on the side of the driveway. This was observed on July 31st. On August 3rd, a violation notice was sent out and posted at the location by me at the location and the board clerk for certified delivery to the property owner, Aldolfo Batista, as identified by county records, and that's for violation of 5-1E1A. And that specifically says under A, no land shall hereafter be used or occupied unless in conformity with all the regulations herein specified for the district in which it's located, which is residential. The activities that are occurring there are commercial related. Property owner was given until August 17th, 2020 to comply with the codes as cited to stop changing the character of a residential area with his business. On August 18th, the property was re-inspected and found non-compliant. On September 11th, a notice of hearing to this meeting was posted at the location and in the City Hall lobby with 24-hour public access, and sent out certified delivery to the property owner. As of this date, there's been no change. There's still trailers, and actually an even larger vehicle today was parked in the driveway. In Exhibit A, you can see this is the front easement of the house, and that's Nicole Boulevard. That's landscaping debris. That's a trailer on the side of the house, kind of poking out. That's a stack of pallets still there. We happen to have his gate open when I took this picture, and there's other equipment and trailers back there.
Can you slide the picture, please, officer?
Zoom in? Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, the city's requesting a $15 per day fine and a compliance time frame of October 7th. Per violation, or it's only one violation.
Okay. May I ask, was this, I thought that zoning, this isn't something that would come before the zoning board?
No,
Okay.
it's
Because,
a violation of ordinance, yes, ma'am.
okay,
Maybe for approval.
okay. That's
So
different.
can I ask, you're saying zoning violation and then it mixed with the offsite debris and all that, they are all part of 5-1E, 1A, or is it different codes?
That's all the same.
It's
It's
all in
the
one.
activity overall.
Okay. Okay.
All right,
Officer Loeffler, are they using that equipment in those trailers on a daily basis?
I believe so.
Okay. Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes.
I move that case number 2020-01879, the respondent be found in violation of the code as cited and be cited as of August 17th and, and be given until October 7th to come in compliance or be fined. You said $35 or 25?
15, 1-5.
$15 per day per violation until found in compliance.
And both those dates are 2020?
Yeah, 20.
Second.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion before the board in case number 2020-01879 that the respondent be found in violation and be fined, be given until October 7th, 2020, to come into compliance or be fined $15 per day. Is there any
Yeah,
discussion?
Madam Chair, and
Yeah.
I reserve any right to make a motion after my statement. I think that a violation of this nature and the nuisance that it provides, given the evidence, should carry with it a heavier weight to ensure compliance. With that being said, I move to amend the motion to strike the fine of $15 a day and replace it with a fine of $25 per day. It's non-compliance.
Okay. Okay.
Is there a second for
Is-
that?
Can I second?
You can.
I would second that.
All right.
Okay.
We can vote on that,
Okay.
on raising it from 15 to 25.
Okay.
Where it gets discussed.
Okay.
Or both.
Okay. So we have an amended motion made by Member Stewart in case number 2020-01879 and seconded by Member Odom, that the fine be raised to $25 per day. Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Oppose?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, so.
So you're gonna call for a roll call vote?
Yeah, wait.
Okay.
And give me 1 second.
Am I allowed to speak on behalf of precedent when it's come to our past fines?
It's
like
not,
what
I
was
mean, because
determined
you're
at the
allowed to have
last one?
discussion, so if we're in
Yes,
discussion.
yeah, I'm gonna have
So
it.
are we still in discussion?
Yeah.
We're still voting?
Okay,
So,
You're exiting
okay,
the first vote before the roll call vote, and now you're gonna have some discussion.
yes.
So just to solidify my statement, you know, it seems last month, we had a quasi-similar violation where there was a trailer or an item parked and we went for a higher value on the fine. And here they're operating an entire business. They're using space that is strictly zoned for residential to also lay out some of their waste, as the officer has testified. That's not just residential waste. And so I am, for that reason, just raising the fine beyond what the city recommended to $25 a day.
I would like to add, myself, if I wasn't chairing the meeting, I probably would have even suggested a higher one.
Okay.
These are residential. This is a residential area. And, you know, to have that kind of debris, the trailers, that takes away from the value. not to mention, you know, what kind of traffic coming in and out. This is a community. And, you know, it's one thing to have a business from home where it's not all outside, but this right here, this is really unacceptable.
No, if I may, yeah, I understand that what your point is, but these are special times. Everybody is struggling to make their end meet. This fine is not supposed to make them, what's the right word?
Punitive?
It should make them fix the problem, not become such a heavy burden. So under normal circumstances, we have even gone up to 35 or even 50, but under these circumstances, and I think a lower fine just to make them realize that they are in non-compliance is a better solution than just come out with this, with a big hammer. That's my reasoning.
Madam Chair.
The only reason I too voted against raising it was I did not hear any indication. I think you said that it's a business, but I didn't hear any indication like there was a phone number associated with it as a business, or there was any indication that there was a further check to determine that it was a business. I didn't hear that aspect of it.
One thing that right now, as a realtor, like you said, you know, these are difficult times. There are other homeowners going through those difficult times, and they may be trying, their salvation may be trying to sell their home. The whole purpose of HOAs and communities and whatnot is to have a consistent value. So this is impacting them. This may be impacting some of the neighbors very negatively. To address your point, the first notice was back in August. And this is something that needs to be dealt with quickly. And when they moved there, they knew that this was not a business zone. Everyone is going through something right now, but you can't make your particular situation everyone else's.
And Madam Chair, if I may, one last thing, just so everyone kind of knows where I'm coming from. Last month, we had a similar case which had 2 violations, and what we did was we found them in violation, and we approved fines of $50 per day per violation. So the potential, if both of them were still in violation, would have been at $100 per day if they're still non-compliant. So really, we're talking about an increase of $10. And looking back on precedent at what we did last month, this discussion and digging our heels in seems slightly ridiculous in contrast.
But I would think that, isn't there some guide that the office uses in determining and assessing fines as far as the totality of a case? In other words, similar cases, like I said, I did not hear that, well, there was a business number associated or that they checked to see that that number was associated with someone doing a lawn service or anything like that.
So I'm sure Counselor will back me up on this, but the board in its sole decision can determine what kind of fine to levy, and the city just makes its recommendation.
Right.
On the first violation.
The city's numbers are just recommendations. It's up to the board.
That's right.
Are we ready for a roll call vote?
This is the roll call vote on the amendment.
Okay.
All right. Member Odom,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
No.
Member Mirza,
No.
Member Bandor,
No.
Member Mann's not here, Member Stewart,
Yes.
Member Schropa.
Yes.
We have a s-
We have a tie vote 3-3.
You
I'm not
gotta
sure.
have 4 to pass it, so the amendment fails.
Amendment fails. Okay.
Yep. Gotta be a majority of the quorum.
Okay. So now we vote on the
So we vote
original.
on the original motion, which is still $15.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we will have the vote All those in favor of the original vote of,
I have a question. Are we still in discussion or are we voting?
we're voting.
Now we're back to the main motion, to which we can
We're
have
voting.
discussion.
Okay, so we did that discussion still? Because I have a question for you, Counselor. Question is, again, this is going into a zoning violation. I guess I'm asking you, are you sure we have jurisdiction over that? Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah, this is not a P and Z issue. This is a code enforcement
This is
issue.
if you're in this violation, you shall do this, in this zoning district. And if you're doing that, then you can go to the code.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question initially. Okay. So based on that, we will have a vote on the original motion in case number 2020-01879, that the respondent come into compliance by October 7th, 2020, or be fined $15 per day until he comes into compliance. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Okay. Motion carries.
They couldn't last month.
Thank you.
Okay.
He couldn't pick you up.
Thank you.
He was watching TV in there, didn't hear you.
I know, but they couldn't hear me last month when I spoke.
He's talking to that.
Moving along, the next case to come before the board is case number 2020-1904, to be heard by Officer Rodriguez.
Good evening.
Good evening.
For the case of 2020-01904, Officer Rodriguez, for the address of 704 Carmen Drive. On August the 4th of 2020, I observed on the property with overgrown grass and weeds, trash and debris, and of course the trailer park in the front of the property. On the same date of August the 4th, the notice of code violation was mailed to Smith Benton Wesley and Smith Jeannie Renee at 704 Carmen Drive in Ocoee, as identified by the Orange County Property Appraiser, for the violation of the ordinance, Article 6, Design and Performance Standards, 6-4H, 6B, Chapter 115, Nuisance, 115-3A, Chapter 115, Nuisance, 115-3B. They were given up to September the 2nd of 2020. On August 14 of 2020, Mr. Benton Smith requested a 2-week extension, even though they were still under 3 weeks to come into compliance, because I gave them almost a month. On September the 3rd of 2020, I re-inspected the property, finding it not in compliance with the city. On September the 3rd, was sent by certified mail the notice of hearing and statement of violation, and as of today is not in compliance with the city.
When they asked for
the-
an extension of time, what date did you give them?
I gave them the 2 weeks, but it was inside the same 3 weeks of the dates that I already gave them.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
And is the recommendation of the city to come into compliance until October the 7th, thereafter $25 per violation if not in compliance.
Thank you. I've just been informed, we do have the respondents present. Have they been sworn in?
No, they haven't.
Okay.
All right, if you could please head down to the podium if you plan to speak.
The microphone.
All right, if you please raise your right hand.
If you
Do you-
think you might speak, go ahead and raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to present shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. May you put your hand down?
You may proceed.
Can you please just state your name for the record?
Okay.
It looks a little different this afternoon. We mowed already and put the tree limbs out this afternoon.
He's been working on it every day. He hasn't been working since the COVID, so we don't really have the money to put the gate up for the trailer, so we're trying to see if we can get a little bit more time.
But I
So
got
we can-
pictures of it being mowed since you took
Yeah,
it.
they've been doing stuff every day.
And I got the trees out and the paint gone and the vines off the house. And I was in the hospital even Saturday because I got blood pressure issues, 200/120. So I mean, it's high now, it's sedated doctor, but I still went out there and did it. We got all the trees cut around the jet ski and everything. I mean, I could put the canoe in the back too, we just got the water out of it. And I got pictures of showing that they cut it. I got my yard moved this afternoon.
Mr. Smith, I have a question about some of the trash and the debris around the property. Were you able to take care of that?
We got some of it gone, a lot of it. I got a little bit more, but yes, I'll get it
So,
gone.
is it just something that slipped your mind, or is, you missed trash day, what happened?
Like them things right there are full of cans, and I didn't know where to put them. And we're just gonna take them and turn them in, and then we're gonna save them no more.
Okay.
That blue barrel is a water barrel, like the y'all used to get around here. The blue barrel is like, the water saver barrel. But I don't know, I don't want it no more. And I was gonna give it away. It's got the knob and the screen and everything, but I can put it in the back.
Or by the road, either one. I'm sure somebody will take it.
Yeah, you're right. But I got like all that stuff out. The one, we had 2 picnic tables. We put one out when we get back home. It's still good. We'll put it out so somebody can have it. And it was in the front.
Mr. Smith,
But I had
how,
that trailer there for 20 years, and it's in behind the front of my house, but it's not. And then like every corner around there, there's like right across the street, Scott, he's got a concrete pad and a thing of everything right by the road. He's got this corner lot too. And then y'all told him not to put the concrete down, he did it anyway. He keeps his yard up, that's the problem. But I've been in bad health, I've been in the hospital 7 times since 2018.
Mr. Smith, how much time do you need to fix all these things which the officer just told us?
As much as you can give, but it's up to you. I could do it.
Is 2 weeks good enough time?
Maybe a little longer. Well, my son works for me, he's 28, but he got hit on Clark Road last couple of days ago by a car on his bicycle. And he drives a truck, but he was exercising before we go to work, and a car, lady just came out of the neighborhood, that Reflections, and hit him. So he's got a couple of broke ribs, he was gonna do some helps and stuff too.
I think we have to fix a time, we cannot, it
I
just
understand.
cannot extend it indefinitely. So I like to
Just
make
I've lived here my whole life.
Just a
Rusty
moment.
Johnson was my baseball coach and everything when I was a little kid. I lived here since they had 2 cops.
okay.
So,
I know,
So is,
and I feel bad about it, I really do.
real quick, I just have, Mr. Smith, when was the last time you were able to do work on the yard?
We did
Did you
that.
say today?
Yeah, he's been working on it every day.
And when
But I
was
have to go out
the
like
latest
that.
inspection from the city?
Excuse me?
When was the latest inspection from the city?
I went this afternoon.
This afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay, and
But we know
based on
after
the,
she came.
Yes.
She did it.
Apparently, they did something after I went there.
Yeah.
And also, even though I gave him 2 weeks, I was indicated by them that he's been sick.
okay.
He's been in the hospital too, so.
Officer Rodriguez, I have a question. What is the issue with the trailers specifically?
Yes.
He has 2 fronts.
He has 2 fronts.
That's correct.
This is on a curb?
We
Yes,
live on a corner lot.
yes.
But I had it there for 20 years. It's up against the house and, and I can back it up more. There's stumps that we cut 2 trees down there.
What is the ruling on a corner lot?
It's supposed to be in the back line of the property, but it has to be an opaque fence with a gate. So it cannot be viewed from the side.
On the, there's a couple corner lots, and the guy has a privacy fence from the front of his house all the way out to the sidewalk,
around that way. But he's got his whole side yard fenced off. And that's on Suzette Drive. It's Allen Beverly Hills.
But it's not,
Flores.
but you can't have it that far out, cause you
No,
can't see.
But they gave us a permit to put that fence up. Me and her put it up. They showed us where to put the gates. There's a gate back there too. But they said we could, back then.
Mr. Smith,
They said it was.
can you
okay.
move to the microphone so I can pick you up?
They said it was okay for us to park it
Thank you.
there back then. It goes back further than that. That's just not, I have it up too far. So, the front of the house is like the back of my truck almost, but I can back it up at least another 15 feet from where it's at. I mean, it's not in view of this road or nothing, but, and that's, we use it every day. I just haven't had a lot of work, so it was sitting there. Because I paint, and people didn't want to paint, they want nobody cover butters, but we're picking up now. I got some more contracts going.
So you use that as part of your business then?
Yep. And for like anything, dirt bikes or whatever, and plus store stuff in. And then I parked it on the street one night. Somebody cut the latch off, tried to steal the stuff in it. So, I know who it kind of was, but there was a bad house on the end of our road, and they were, but they got them out of there now and sold the house.
Is this, officer, is this zoned as a residential area?
That's correct.
And the witness just testified that he uses the trailer for his business?
Well, I use
And
it.
personal use.
I use it personal, but what I do is like, I paint, but I use the truck for that, but the pickup, but that's just the whole rollers and stuff, that's just the pickup. And then I got rock down there too, rock, so it don't, and it's been there, big thick rock, there's no way it can, it's like a driveway.
If you speak with the planning department, they'll be able to tell you exactly how to fence that off. The planning department?
And if they have any leeway in where it has to be?
Yeah, because we just gotta, if there's 2 trees that we cut down, they're back a little bit where the bushes were, but it was back there, but I didn't back it all the way up that time when
So when you back it up, it's not sinking?
It's just backed up, like they said it has to be, this was the last time. A long time ago, they told us to back it up behind the front of the house.
Okay.
So, I don't know, I don't know all this stuff no more.
The planning department will be able to tell you exactly.
Okay, no problem, yeah. And we mowed it again this afternoon, everything's weed eated, it looks really good now.
So is it really just the trailer that you might need some time?
That and actually that really and a couple more things we just gotta put back up. Cause we already, cleaned the stuff out, we just gotta put it up.
Okay.
So will you, do you plan to
Whatever
talk
they-
with the planning department as suggested?
Yeah, I'll do
Okay.
whatever it takes.
Okay.
And that canoe we can put it in around the backyard, but it was full of water, we couldn't move it, and then my young son finally got the water out, so we can move it.
Okay, if there
He's been
isn't,
using it.
okay. If there isn't any more discussion, what is the pleasure of the board?
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes.
I move that in case number 202001904, that the respondent be found in violation as cited, and given until October 22nd, 2020, to come into compliance or be fined $50 a day per violation until found in compliance.
And they were found in violation as cited as of September 2nd, 2020?
September 2nd, 2020.
Thank you.
Okay, you're saying $50 per violation or?
No, I said 25 per, but it looks like they took care of a couple of them, so it would be whatever violation that they haven't taken care of.
Yeah, I'll get it done as soon as possible.
Okay, I second that. I will second.
30 days.
Okay.
So we're gonna give them 30 for.
Okay, yeah, I'll get it done for sure. It's just, we were struggling, our bills are behind because I haven't been working,
Okay.
and it's been very bad.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion before the board in case number 2020-01904 that the respondent be found in violation as cited and be given until October 22nd, 2020 to come into compliance. The motion was made by Member Bander and seconded by Member Mirza. Again, I apologize, but the respondent be given until October 22nd, 2020 to come into compliance or be fined $25 per day per remaining violation until found in compliance.
And just for clarification for my motion, which violations are you charging them of?
All of them.
Okay.
You're doing all three?
All three.
Okay.
Okay, on all three, okay.
I got it mowed already and everything cleaned up. Actually, I mowed it 3 times.
Just a minute, this is the board now. Okay, is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. Okay, thank you.
Good luck with that.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
get it done, because I lived there my whole life. So. We moved that property a little bit, I moved back to the city.
Okay. Okay. The next motion to come before the board is case number 2020-01501, presented by Officer Sechrist.
That property is in non-compliance.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yep. I move that in case 2020-01501, the board imposes fines as of September 6th.
No, 7.
The day
My bad.
after.
September 7th, 2020, as previously set by this board.
Okay.
Second?
Okay. Okay, I have a motion presented by Member Stewart and seconded by Member Mirza in case number 2020-01501, that the board impose the fines as set by, I'm sorry.
As
that-
previously set by the board.
As set by the board. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
We do it the day after, just because if they go at 5 PM, you want to, you know,
Of course.
or if they come into compliance at 11:45 PM.
Okay. The next case before the board is case number 2020-01641, presented by Officer Rodriguez.
Yes, the case of 2020-01641 for 410 East Lakeshore Drive. As of 9/10, it was not in compliance, 115-3B, so that's to impose the fine. But the other code, 6-4H6B, it's in compliance.
Okay.
Okay, so you want the board to impose a violation for the 115-3B starting September 7th?
That's correct.
Okay.
So you want,
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
so which one is in
Okay.
compliance? I did not
Yes.
hear it. Which, both of them are in non-compliance or one of?
One is in compliance, that's the 6-4HB, 6B.
Okay, so
Compliance.
3B is still not satisfied?
Exactly, 11-3B is not in compliance.
Okay, so,
Okay.
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 Can I,
Madam Chairman, I move that in case number 2020-01641, that the board impose a fine as of September 7th for the one violation, 115-3.B, $50 until it comes into compliance.
Okay, and that's September 7th, 2020?
September 7th, 2020, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion before the board in case number 2020-01641, presented by Member Lewis and seconded by Member Bander, that the board imposed the fines as of September 7th, as previously set by this board. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next case before the board is case number 2020-01801, presented by Officer Loeffler.
Unfortunately, that property remains non-compliant. The city is requesting order imposing fine and lien.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Member Stewart.
I move that in case 2020-01801, the board imposes fines as of September 12th, 2020, as previously set by this board for both violations cited.
Oh,
second?
okay. All righty. In case number 2020-01801, we have a motion presented by Member Stewart and seconded by Member Mirza that the board impose the fines as of September 12th, 2020, as previously set by this board. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next case is case number 2020-01803, presented by Officer Loeffler.
Unfortunately, that case remains non-compliant. The city is requesting order imposing fine and lien.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion on this one.
Okay, Member Mirza.
I move that case number 2020-01803, the board impose fines as of September 10th, 2020, as previously set by the board.
Okay. Okay, in case number 2020-01803, we have a motion presented by Member Mirza and seconded by Member Bander that the court impose the fines as of September 10th, as previously set by this board. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next case is case number 2020-01815, presented by Officer Loeffler.
I'm pleased to report that property is in full compliance.
Fantastic.
No further action required.
Okay, thank you. Okay, our next case before the board is case number 2020-01821, presented by Officer Loeffler.
This case had a lot of violations. They're all in compliance except for one, and that's 43-7A1. The noisy roosters are still present.
Okay.
City's requesting order imposing fine and lien on one violation.
Which one is that?
43-7A1.
The first one.
Okay.
How do you determine that it's in non-compliance about the noise? How did you make that determination that,
I went back and heard them, and I canvassed the neighbors on both sides, the complainants.
so is the neighbors still complaining?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Okay, well, Member Lewis.
Yeah, probably sounded like it.
Okay, Member
Yeah,
Lewis?
Madam Chair, in case number, I'd like to make a motion for case number 2020-01821. I move that in that case, the board impose a fine as of September the 10th, 2020, as previously set by the board for the one violation that they're not in compliance, which is 43-7A1.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion before the board, presented by Member Lewis and seconded by Member Bander in case number 2020-01821, that the board impose fines on the remaining violation, which is section 43-7A1, as of September 10th, 2020, as previously set by this board. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. The next case before the board is case number 2020-01862, again presented by Officer Loeffler.
I'm pleased to announce that that is in full compliance. No further action required.
Fantastic. Okay, well, that concludes the cases for this evening. I would now, if there are any comments, starting with,
You're starting with me?
yes, Member Mirza. Yeah, let's
Must
mix
be
it
my
up a
lucky
little
day.
bit.
Okay, I'm gonna take this because, okay, we have this discussion about the range of the fines before, and I think we left it unresolved. Now I'm seeing that there are, and you are right, there is a lot of variation from anywhere from
Yeah.
Am I? Okay, sorry. Okay, we have this discussion about the amount of the fine before, and, at that point, we never got to a resolution, because now it is special circumstances. I am seeing the variation is quite a bit, anywhere from $50 per day per fine to 15. So I would hope if the city attorney's office can give us some direction as to what is an appropriate, when there is a single violation, when there is a group of violation, because after all, we are not trying to create a really,
Well, I represent the board. I don't represent the city at all. I just represent you. The staff recommends what they think, and they could have the city attorney's office do up a chart of what they think, but typically you kind of, commercial versus residential, although you're now focusing on residential only, and you've got like safety versus aesthetics, that kind of thing. Neighbors may weigh into it. I can give you, Chapter 162 tells you should weigh factors like, were there 10 violations and now there's only 3? Have they made any efforts they've made to come into compliance even though not successful? Are they repeat? Have you seen them before even if it's not a repeat? That kind of thing. The gravity of the violation, those type of things. So you can weigh all those in, and you can fine for a first violation from $0 to $250. But whether the prosecutor chooses to make a recommendation to you all is up to the prosecutor.
Okay.
But you all can ignore them as you want.
Yeah, we just started doing the recommendations, I think, a couple of years ago, and you can take it and run with it, or you can make your own recommendation.
Member Mirza, I knew what you were talking about, and I'm with you on that. I saw some disparities before, but from what I got from our meeting that we had, what was it, October last year, whatever
Yes.
it was, is that they give us, the board, the latitude, basically, on a case-by-case basis to determine that. So, you're not necessarily using the other ones as a guideline for your decision-making. You handle them on an individual basis.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
But do you use those criteria, the criteria that the statutes say? I mean, have you seen them before? Are they kind of a continual offender? Were there multiple violations which they've worked on and now there's just one? Have they had no contact with the city, or did they contact the city and said, you can't tell me what to do? You know, those kind of things. The gravity of the violation, is it something that's really impacting the neighborhood, like, you know, maybe roosters crowing that are driving a next door neighbor crazy in the morning, or a tree that could fall that would be detrimental to the neighbor's property versus a little bit of overgrown grass or something, or a vehicle with a flat tire. You got to weigh all that, and the statutes do allow you to weigh all that. And that's why the statutes give you the leeway from $0 to $250 per day per violation on a first offense.
No,
So
Yes.
I appreciate your input, okay.
I can't give you a right answer, but there you go.
And also, I would like to make a request, you know, when, some of us are getting old, we are not as young as you. So if you can put only 2 pictures on one 8.5 by 11, so it become a little bit more visible, I would appreciate that.
Ditto.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Member Bander, any comments?
You know, I just wanted to say that it was actually nice to see finally some of the residents of Ocoee, you know, come up and explain their situation. We do have to remember these, you know, we do live in this community, and you know, these are our neighbors, and like Member Rosa said, these are hard times, you know, and you know, excuse and non-excuse, it doesn't really matter. A little bit of compassion sometimes when it looks like somebody's actually trying to do something and trying to do the right thing and trying to come in compliant and actually shows up to a meeting like this. You know, I think that speaks volumes. That's it. I'm off my soapbox.
Okay. Member Lewis?
I'd like to welcome our newest member to the board, and glad that he got to see some discussions and so forth this evening. But if I could just go back to what Member Mertz said and ask the city, so when you make a recommendation, are you making it considering the factors that was just mentioned, whether the person is a repeat violator and so forth? Are you taking into account those things?
We
so
do.
When you come to us with a figure, you are looking at not only that case, but how that case fits with similar cases?
Correct.
Or are you not doing that?
We are. We put some thought into it. If there's a repeat violation, how it's affecting the neighbors, if we've heard from them at all in the time that we first cited them, those type of things we look at. You know, if it's a dangerous situation like a tree, you know, we may say $25 or $50. Doesn't make it, you know. The problem we had when I first took over here 10 years ago, they were being fined $100 a day, $150 a day. Well, that fine gets up to $300,000, and that doesn't help anybody. You just want a fine that will get their attention. Sometimes even a $25 fine, $15 fine will get their attention and bring them into compliance.
And certainly with the case that we had today where there was some discussion, I agree with both sides, but like I said, I did not hear certain things like the city went the extra step to that there was a phone number and you called and you knew that it was a business. It was the presumption that it was a business. So I didn't see tying in with Member Mercer's comment about it being hard times. And I too live in a community where you would want the value of your house to remain at a certain level. But if the city's taken all those things into account, I would have thought that that would have been something that would have been presented to say, well, there was a number, the city called it, it is a business, so that we would have that to add to our thought process and our deliberations as far as whether or not we should raise it. That's why, you know.
The one thing I would caution is that there are some areas, and I'm so sorry, Chair, Madam Chair. One thing I would caution is that there are areas that do have HOAs and they police themselves. We don't want to become a policing board like an HOA. That's not that should not be our thing here. If there's a violation, within our thing, but, it's not like you should be going out with the board.
Yeah, the
But I
HOAs
don't
call us
think-
to do their dirty work.
But I think this is separate to the HOA anyway. If there's a violation that's brought by the city, whether or not there's an HOA is irrelevant. So it's that the city is saying that there is a violation, and this is their recommendation after they've looked at everything. That's why I hold some value to the recommendation that they're bringing on the basis that they would be looking at similar type cases and the impact in the area.
Member Stewart?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I would just like to reiterate what council said, and that it kind of is the purview of the board on advice of the city to determine the amount of the fee based on, previous statements that have been said. People have agreed to, possibly waive it, but they feel that enough evidence wasn't presented, but at the same time, we went ahead and we voted to convict. So I feel like if that was the thought process that some people are using, then your vote should be no, not to find them in violation. And you shouldn't be, they're kind of in violation, so I'm going to agree with this sort of value. So, I would just reiterate the thought process that we do have from 0 to 250 per day. Take into account a precedent. I do understand that, times are a bit hard, but we are about 6 months into it now. We got to have the participation of some of the respondents. So, I just want the board to understand that, and I know this being extremely new, but we have a lot of autonomy here, and we're kind of the check to the city. So just as we may want to increase that, or as I may have wanted to increase it, if the city proposes something that we decide to be preposterous, it is also within our right to lower that. So just sliding scale, and as much as, we do appreciate everything that the city says, at the end of the day, the power does rest with this board. So I just ask that you weigh all those things in. And I do appreciate the debate that we've had today, rather than just blindly going through things. So that's an excellent step. Thank you all.
Thank you. Member Stropper?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to say thank you for the warm welcome from the members. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to working with you in the next couple of months and into the new year, and make great things happen for this community. Thank you very much for the warm welcome.
You were lucky to get one of the more spirited.
Okay. I'm sorry. Officer Loeffler? Officer Seagrass?
No comment.
Okay, Attorney Mary?
No, just welcome to the board.
Okay.
Read chapter 162.
Yes.
Board statute.
Okay, and Mr.
Yes.
Baines, did you have comments?
So, I got a call from Chairman Lowry yesterday.
Uh-oh.
He said to say hello from North Carolina. And he also is turning in his resignation. He and his wife are going to be retired full-time. They're going to be spending most of their time up in North Carolina. I don't officially have his resignation letter, but according to the city clerk, his verbal was enough. So the board will need to elect a new chair and vice chair.
Maybe.
I don't know that you need to do that this evening.
Yeah, so the city's looking for, if the board would like to make a motion for a new chairman tonight. The vice chair does not automatically go up for this board. You have separate votes. If you do wish to vote her up, then you would have to vote for a new vice chair as well. But that could be done, we can add that to the agenda for next month if you wish, or we could do it tonight.
Okay. Make a motion to nominate Member Odom.
I second.
Sorry? What did you say?
Wow. Her eyes rolled back in the back of her head.
Well, she's still conscious, though.
Okay.
Yes.
I would have to vote on that?
You don't,
Do we have to hold a vote?
do you accept the nomination?
I accept.
So now there's the discussion of it.
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
I'm kidding.
so we are making,
Any other nominations?
so I did not hear it. We are making Valerie,
I've
I
been
made a
nominated.
nomination.
all right.
Okay, well, that's a motion that has been made by Member Lewis and seconded by Member Vander.
By next month.
Okay, yes, I will.
better
I'll
still
never
be in
forget it. Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Well, with that, I'll make
No, don't.
my final,
Oh.
my
And would
comment. I never made a
Okay,
comment.
but a comment, not a motion. I thought you were
And
going to.
Right,
vice chair,
Okay.
any nominations, or you can wait till next month?
Wait till next month.
Great, I second that.
Okay, but what if Valerie's not available?
Yeah, probably
Then
should
the
be
person
taken
in
care
next in seniority, which is
Yeah.
Member Lewis, I believe. Right?
With temporary, or run that meeting temporarily.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, well, we'll hold the chair, the nomination for the vice chair until next month.
Start your
Please
campaign.
think about it.
I will add that to the end of our meeting, so it'll be right before the comments section.
Okay.
And
Well, I
then-
just wanted to make some comments. Yes, tonight was very interesting. One of the things that I would like the members to keep in mind, like I said, we're all members of this community as well. And myself, not only being a member, as I indicated earlier, I'm a realtor too. And so I look at when these violations come in, I think about the neighbors, and I think it's something that we should all think about as well. When you think that a homeowner has bought some property, they're fully aware of the majority of what they can and cannot do. And a lot of times, before someone complains, they probably have commented to them, so they have had time. So I just want you, I know, this is COVID, doing this, COVID has made things crazy, but still think about the community as a whole. And for a lot of these people, this is the biggest investment they ever made. And then for some of them, they have a vision of how they want to raise their children. And I would be very concerned, if I had a manufacturing business, where my children were. So you have to think about all those things. Of course, we have to take things on a case-by-case basis. But just don't think only about the homeowner. The person, the respondent, okay?
Can I ask?
I have a finger or two. So I have a quick question for the city. Do most of the complaints, are they generated by the officers? Are they generated by neighborhood complaints?
Right now, about 99% are citizen complaints. We've been told because of COVID to kind of hold back and not go after anybody, unless it's something, egregious.
Right. So in response to what you said, Madam Chairman, I think the community, I think the neighbors do speak their mind by having code enforcement officers or reporting that, and then it becomes up to us to act.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
We've had no shortage of complaints lately.
Okay.
Online, phone calls, we get flag downs. HOAs call us to do their dirty work.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
times that's
A
what
lot
happens.
of times, yes.
Yeah. I would suggest that all the members,
Or
if you're not familiar with the ordinance, that you actually, read it. Sometimes it's like Chinese, when you're looking at the laws, but,
up to the counselor.
well,
have our
the counselors, but,
Sometimes.
See, my thing, I want to ask the city to, when we impose fine on these beautification or, or like tall grass or everything, the fine we impose goes to the general fund, or is get to the, to fixing those issues.
Code enforcement never sees that money. It goes into the general fund.
Okay,
I wish.
See, the problem remains the same. See, the problem remains the same. We are imposing fines.
But it
Mr.
goes in-
Marza, whenever you authorize the city to do the cleanup and then lien the property for the cost of compliance, that would be assessed against and kind of be reimbursed, or it should be. If it's liened against the property and you ever get the money back. I don't know how often you get the money back, but.
Yeah, abatement, any money out of the city's pocket, we always get back. We never lower that.
So basically what you're saying, it goes to the general fund. The grass still remains the way it is. So how is it satisfied the code requirement of beautification or aesthetics?
By our codes, the city is very limited. Those abatements we were talking about, we can only do them, for the most part, on vacant properties. So if someone lives there, we can't go cut their grass. We're just not legally allowed to do it.
Right, so all it does is it runs the fines until
But
somebody cuts
But
it.
it's a lien against the property, so after 3 months, the city can get with the city attorney's office and determine if they want to think about trying to foreclose on the property. And if there's a mortgage, they're not going to be in priority, so they probably wouldn't, but sometimes there's not a mortgage, and then the city can foreclose on the property if the people refuse to mow, or if they refuse to do whatever. I mean, that's the power of the code enforcement. It's a pretty big power when you think about it, because if somebody doesn't mow their yard, they could potentially have their house foreclosed.
Okay.
But if you let it get that far, it's hard to have much sympathy for you.
That's true.
The first case we heard today was about a tree in a dangerous situation. And we imposed a fine, whether either they have a choice to come in compliance or they will end up paying the fine. But the tree is still a danger. So how is that gonna get fixed?
Well, Chapter 162 covers that. If they feel like it's a situation that is in imminent danger, they
will
can
make
bring
a
it as that
proposal.
kind of case to you. It's a different case. They also have a separate board that can deal with it too, like a life safety issue. But generally, you have the power to authorize the city to remove it if it's such a life safety threat. But they typically don't go that far here in the city. But they have in the past, and we've dealt with it some.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to adjourn.
Oh, okay, yes. If there are no, yes, okay. We don't have to vote on that one. We are now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.